we get obsessive about research. We like doing research. So what I found out by studying research is there's a thing called masking, and there's a thing called masquerading, and there's things you can do that autistic people do to try to emulate other people. So not easy, they're difficult things, but they do it. There are things autistic people do to be able to fit in better, to be able to emote better, to be able to express their emotions. And as I was reading all of these things, and trying to figure out, well, what can I do? What should I do? I'm, of course, writing hundreds of pages of notes. Here's what happens here. Here's what happens here. Here's how you do this. Here's when somebody comes to you and they're crying. Here's the right kind of thing to do. Here's the right kind of words to say. So it was kind of like an education, but how could I actually make it work? How could I make it work so that I would be able to go out and know the right words to say to people, know how to make friends, and I'm writing all this down. Somebody who I admired was approaching to finishing a master's degree in writing. Oh my God, that sounded impressive. And I had very brief, infrequent communications with them about it. But just the idea that you could get a master's degree in writing, if I could get a master's degree in writing, maybe I could write a novel about this. Maybe I could write. And then that was the breakthrough. It's like, wait a minute. You write, I sometimes write 20,000 words a day. When on the research, I don't even think about it. I write in a journal, I have a dream journal, and I write about that because when I dream, about 80% of my dreams go to this place. It has a wide landscape and a topography, and I've made maps of the topography, and I write stories, and I meet different kinds of spirits at different times. I get to know their names. And in that dream world, I talk a lot, and it's easy, and they talk, and it just happens. I make friends all the time. And it was always difficult when I woke up. Why can't my real life be like that? But I could write about it, and when I wrote about it, I could remember it. It made me feel better. And then the pieces just kind of fell together. It was, wait, I don't have to go get a master's degree to start writing about this. I may need help, but and my writing might be awful in terms of, but I now know, thanks to photography, I started out with awful photography. I took a class, I studied, I applied myself, I learned specific techniques, specific practices you do with an image, specific things you do relative to how people see an image, to do with composition, to do with the way eyes move, the way people appreciate. And because I'm autistic, everything looked different to me. Well, so make it look like that. Make it look like what you see so people can see what you see. And it took me about 6 months in this class. I'm not even a third of the way through it. But I finally learned how to do that. And when I got to learn how to do that, suddenly people started responding. People started saying, oh my God, this looks different, but I really like it. So I did that with the camera, and that's a big technical thing that requires going out here and being alone. Writing only requires I get up and sit at my desk. It couldn't be easier. So in the past 3 weeks or so, I've really started assembling together, here's a possible novel. And that novel is now at about 60,000 words. It's equivalent to, it could be big, but it's there. I don't know if it's good, but it has dialogue, it has things a few other people have looked at and said, this, we're on the right track. So there's like another 10 short stories. There's a bunch of other things. So I've found how to do something I love that may more directly and immediately help me express my love for my world, for my friends, both known and unknown, met and yet to be met, my family, the people around me, the people I know, the people who say nice things. So I'm grateful for that. And I felt like it was time to make a overly long, I'm supposed to keep these limited to 60 seconds, but